Hello. Today it is my pleasure to welcome back to campus Dana Schaeffer, a 2014 graduate with a Bachelor of Arts in Communication Media Production, currently working as a producer at ABC News Radio in New York. There she writes and voices news and entertainment segments that air on nearly 2,000 stations across the country. Dana put her passion for radio to work here at William Patterson. In addition to her coursework in media production, she was a disc jockey for the university's award-winning station, WPSC Brave New Radio, where she helped launch College Radio Day. With her WP experience and connections, Dana secured an internship with WPLJ's popular Scott and Todd morning show and used it to launch her professional career with CBS Radio while still a full-time college student. She has since worked at such leading stations and networks as 1010 Wins, where she has covered the iconic Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, among other news events, and iHeartRadio, where she helped to launch the popular podcast Paranormalish. Dana was named a 30 and Under Superstar by Radio Inc. magazine and was chosen to participate in the MIW Mildred Carter Mentoring Radio Program and was recently welcomed into the Newswoman's Club of New York. Congratulations. Among the many ways Dana gives back is staying involved with her alma mater, where she recently spoke with students and served as a panelist as part of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences Aspire program. Welcome back to campus, Dana.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's great to have you here. So we always try to start with what led you to choose William Patterson for your college education?
Well, do you want the real answer?
Sure. I want the real answer.
It was the only school that really accepted me. But then again, I didn't really apply to too many schools back then. I just didn't know where I wanted to go. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't really have a clue on how to apply to colleges or anything. And my SAT scores weren't that high. I was an honor roll student, but my SAT scores, weren't high enough. So William Patterson accepted me, and they had a great communications department, so I was like, sign me up.
And you knew that from the get-go, communication, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew that since I was like 7.
Wow. That's driven. So I mentioned your involvement in a leading mentoring program for women in the industry. Mentoring, of course, is a big part of the college experience for many of our students, thanks to the Pesci Family Mentoring Institute here on our campus. Can you talk a little bit about your experience and how it benefited you personally and professionally?
Oh, yeah. I mean, mentoring, no matter where it was, it's super important to have. I mean, the mentors that I had through college, especially at William Patterson, whether they were professors or just colleagues that I passed and talked to, whatever it may be, it's really important to me because, you know, for instance, there's one professor and he was an adjunct, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, and I wish I knew who he was. But one day I was torn between going to LA or staying here for an internship. And I was a sophomore. I've never left my zip code. And and he said, well, do you want to live with what ifs? And I'm sure my dad would really appreciate that question because he's like, he didn't want me to go to LA at all. Right. But then I was like, yeah, like, I don't want what ifs, you know? So I wound up going to LA. But, you know, people like that, for instance, almost 10 years later, stood out to me. And mentoring is super important for that reason. Because maybe if I didn't talk to him that day in the hallway right over here, my life might have been completely different.
Yeah, people make a difference in our lives,
100%.
Don't they? How'd you like the West Coast?
I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I moved back and forth about 5 different times at this point. I love it, but I do love New York, New Jersey. That's home for me. Yeah. There's something about the fast-paced nature.
Every time I go, I want to love it, but I'm just too much of an East Coast guy.
I mean, there's some pros and cons.
Of course. So, you know, the radio industry, including podcasting, is rapidly evolving. Mm-hmm. So what advice do you give to today's students to prepare themselves for success in such a dynamic field?
Yeah, be dynamic, right? Keep evolving, honestly. I just spoke to a colleague the other day at work, and he said he wants to hire people that can do everything. And myself included, I pretty much have done and do everything at work, right? You can't just be a producer. You have to jump in to collect sound or write something, whatever it may be. So especially nowadays with, for instance, radio shrinking, it's good to know everything because then you become more of an asset to the company.
So switching tracks for just a minute.
Yeah.
We all know that New Jersey is the diner capital of America. I didn't know that until I moved here.
Yeah.
But I understand that you have a very special connection with one classic Jersey diner. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I do. It's been a wild ride. It's only been a few, maybe 7 to 9 months that I've been on this journey right now. But there's a diner in my town, Little Falls Diner. It's been closed for almost 30 years, so practically my whole life. And, I knew the owners since I was younger because I worked at a lot of the restaurants and the places that they owned around town. Mm-hmm. And I'd always joke, when are we going to open this diner up? And they're like, okay, yeah, right, okay. And then one day I had a conversation and they said that they wanted to possibly tear it down now because it's just been sitting there for 30 years. Oh. And I was like, let's hold up for a second. Let me see what I can do. And one thing led to another. I talked to the Historical Society. I talked to our town, the mayor, people who restore diners for a living. And, there was a lot of traction. A lot of people started saying, like, we got to save this thing. And I found an investor, and the owners have been very supportive in the option of keeping it. So now we're kind of working together to try to restore it and then hopefully reopen it as a nice little brunch spot.
That's amazing. It's certainly a Jersey proud moment, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's not many left around here. Really, so to save one, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know that the William Patterson experience involves learning and personal growth both in and out of the classroom. What were the most valuable lessons that you learned outside of the classroom?
Oh man, that's a tough question because I can go so many different routes. I think just through my journey in this career, in this field, and in life, as silly as it sounds, you could say work hard, be persistent, all that kind of stuff, evolve, be dynamic. But I would really say just like be kind and be patient. Since I was here, I always wanted to work at ABC, for instance. And I applied to every single internship known to man, pretty much, when I was here. And I didn't get any of them. And they say, you apply to 100 jobs, you might hear back from one. So whether it's in life or in, work or personal, I think be patient and be kind. Because kindness goes a long way. My dad always says, you can't, you get more bees with honey than with vinegar.
Sure.
And I've seen people burn bridges in my career where, they can't talk to bosses anymore or people that they used to work with because they just burn a bridge. And it doesn't help anyone. It really doesn't. And so I think just, being nice and then also just being patient, because if you just learn to let go and just have no expectations about anything, life is a lot more smooth,
I tell the graduates every year, if they can choose to be anything, choose to be kind.
Yeah, there you go.
And today's mail clerk is tomorrow's CEO. So,
exactly. It's so true, though.
It's always very true.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your most enduring William Patterson memory. Did it take place here in Morrison Hall, the home of Brave New Radio, or someplace else on campus?
Yeah, man, I loved college. Maybe I'm weird, but I loved school. I would say everything at the radio station was a great memory. I don't think I had one negative memory in this whole hall right here. What I do remember is the launch of College Radio Day back in 2011. And, everyone was pumped up and revved up. We had a live stream for 24 hours. That and Brave-a-thon, right? Just had 24 hours of live music or 12 hours, whatever it may have been, but a long time, a whole big day. And just, having that camaraderie, everyone being around, it was so much fun. And, I think about us like having rolly chairs and we were rolling up and down the hallways or something, or I was in a dress but I was wearing slippers down the hallway because I was there all day.
Nice.
Just little things like that, but it just sticks with you forever.
Typical TV shtick, right? Dress and slippers.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you had mentioned the individual who asked you about a life of what ifs. But was there someone in particular on campus, whether it was a student, faculty, or staff member, who strongly impacted your college or professional career?
Yeah. I mean, there were so many people. I really think, one, Rob Quick, he's no longer in this college, but he was one. I mean, there were so many professors that were here that really inspired me and kept me going. And I think without them, my career path would have been completely different. And the student body, the college, the professors, they were all very supportive. And I think I just had a good group, like a good circle around me. And I'm grateful for that.
So you generously support William Patterson by sharing your time and your talent with our students. Why do you choose to give back that way?
Like I said earlier, mentorship is really important. And, in my life, whether it was here or in my professional career, friend group, whatever it may be, there's so many people, whether I talk to them or not, whether we've lost contact, whether they moved away. I mean, some of my mentors have even passed away, but they have stuck with me all this time. So I think it's important to really give back in that way, because the way that I feel when I think of these people who helped me out, I want people to feel like that. And especially in this media industry now, especially in radio, where it's shrinking, and it's hard. There's a lot of hard news. There's a lot of things going on. You like to have that support and those people around you in that good circle. And sometimes you don't get that much. So if I could be one of those people that really keep someone inspired and keep them going, then that's all that matters in my life.
I'm sure there are many students who hope they get to be Dana Schaeffer. So, we always close these with a lightning round. I'm the 8th president of William Patterson.
Love it.
So there's 8 questions, some about your time here at William Patterson and some about your life right now. Are you ready?
Yeah. Bring
Okay.
it.
So what would the title of your autobiography be?
It's all good, and I'm already working on it.
Wow.
Yep.
What was your go-to meal as a student?
I was a commuter, so I don't really have that whole ramen noodles in the microwave memory. But I would say probably just a lot of pizza, because we had a lot of pizza spots around here.
What was your favorite study spot?
The TV office back in the day.
The TV
Yeah, it
office.
was just small and quiet.
That's a first.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. So you're naming a new pet, William or Patterson?
William, because I have 2 pets right now.
Okay.
It's a lizard, her name is Amber, and a cat named Jimmy. And I love pets with human names.
There you
so,
go. Okay, William. You're buying a new sweater, orange or black. You can't say pink.
Yeah, I know, right? Orange, you got to stay bold.
There you go. What was your toughest class at William Patterson?
Oh, math, for sure. They have a joke that communications people go to communications because math is very hard.
Okay.
And I was one of those, for sure.
What's your favorite piece of William Patterson branded gear?
I mean, I would say the Brave New Radio stickers that I probably still have. On my old car, it's still on there.
And they still hand them out at every homecoming.
Yeah.
So just so you know.
I
they're
got a
still
new
around.
car. I need a new
Right.
sticker.
What was the single best piece of advice, or what is the single best piece of advice that you could give to today's students?
No expectations leads to no disappointments. So just go with the flow, keep going, work hard, but don't have expectations, because the road that you think you're going down, it's probably going to be zigzagging rather than straight.
There you go.
And that's how mine was,
Yeah.
but it led me back to this seat right here.
Our journeys are seldom linear, are they?
Oh, yeah.
Right. I started as a classical ballet dancer. I'm a university president, so I totally get what you're saying there. So
But there's something
thanks
to
so
it.
much for coming back today. It was great to
you.
meet you. Keep doing the great work that you're doing, but more importantly, keep coming back to campus and
course.
offering your sage advice and counsel to our students. It was really great to meet you today.
Thank you.
Thanks
Likewise.
so much.
I'll be
Yes.
back.
Good. Great. That's great to hear.